start of chapter 7 is on ratios and proportions. This is stuff we've probably seen before. We're going to get out the iPads in just a second here. Okay? We're not doing this. So the three things we need to know from this chapter are what a ratio, proportion, and a cross product are. Okay? A ratio is just a comparison of two quantities using division. So that's a fraction. Okay? It can also be written as a colon. So 1 to 2 is a ratio. 1 to 2 is a ratio. Those are both ratios. 1/2, 1 to 2. Okay? A proportion is two of those things that are equal to each other. So if things are proportional, it would be like 1/2 is equal to 3/6. Right? That's two ratios that are equal to each other. 1/2 and 3/6 are equivalent. Okay? We call that a proportion, when two ratios are equal. And then cross products, that's what we get when we cross multiply. We've cross multiplied before, right? We multiply the diagonals. So in this case, the cross product, 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 6 is 6. That's how we know those things are proportional. If cross products are equal, so two ratios are proportional. Okay? So we can check by cross multiplying, check to see if these things are proportional. Here's a proportion. Just to practice solving this again, two ratios that are equal fractions, we're going to cross multiply to solve for this variable. Okay? It doesn't matter which order you cross multiply in first. Doesn't matter which way you go. Okay? One way, if we do 3 times negative 26, that cross product is going to be equal to 6 times all of the numerator. So remember, if you have, in this case, like a binomial up top, you take 6 times the entire thing in the numerator. Okay? So, and then we just solve this algebra problem to solve for x. 3 times negative 26, negative 78, equals, distribute, 24x minus 30. We can add 30 to both sides to get negative 48. Divide both sides by 24. And x is negative 2. Okay? So just cross multiplication here. Just remember, you need to take the denominator times everything in the numerator in this case. And it doesn't matter which side you start with first. You can go this way or you can go this way. Just set them equal to each other. Okay? Two proportions equal, we cross multiply to solve. Set up a ratio. The country with the longest school year is China, 251 days. I'm sure we'd love that, right? Ours is like 170, 180, I think. You guys probably want another 70 days of school, don't you? Right? No? Indifferent? Okay. So find the ratio of school days to total days. Okay? So we're going to set up a ratio. We can either write it with a colon or a fraction. So the school days is 251. The total days is 365. Okay? This is our ratio of school days to total days. Okay? If we want to convert it to a decimal, we just divide this because it's a fraction. 251 divided by 365, and we get 7/10. Okay? Let's look at how ratios apply to geometric figures here. Okay? In this case, it says in a triangle, the ratio of the sides is 5 to 12 to 13. Okay? So it means the sides should be in these ratios. One of the sides should be a multiple of 5. One of them should be a multiple of 12. One of them should be a multiple of 13. Okay? And then it tells me the perimeter. Remember, to find perimeter of a figure, you used to add up the side. It tells me the perimeter has to be 90. And the specific question asks, what's the measure of the shortest side? So I want it to be proportional to a triangle that looks something like this. I'm just going to sketch out some random triangle. That this triangle has a 5, 12, 13. I want another triangle that's proportional to this one. The sides are proportional, but it has a perimeter of 90. The perimeter of this one is 30, right? 13 plus 12 plus 5 is 30. Okay. So I want another triangle that is proportional sides, but the perimeter is 90 instead. The question is, how do I find that? For example, one triangle that would be proportional would be 10, 24, 26. Right? Why is this triangle proportional to this one? How do I know this one's proportional to this one? Yeah, each of the sides is just multiplying by 2. It's multiple of 2, right? 5 times 2 is 10. 12 times 2 is 24. 13 times 2 is 26. It's just a bigger scaled version of that one, right? But the perimeter of this, 26 plus 24 is 50, plus 10 is 60. The perimeter of this is 60. I want a perimeter of 90. Okay? So my question is, how do I get there without guessing and checking over and over again? If I go another one, I might be able to get there. But, okay, without guessing and checking, how can I find a triangle that's proportional to this one, just a bigger scaled up version, but has a perimeter of 90? Okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call each of the sides 5x. I don't know by how much each side is going up. Okay? So I call this side 5x, 12x, 13x, because I know this side needs to be a multiple of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This side needs to be a multiple of 12. Not necessarily, but most likely. Okay. So I want to find the perimeter that 5x plus 12x plus 13x, and I want that to equal 90, right? It could go up. They could go up by 1.2. They could. X could be 1.2, and this could be 1.2, and this could be 1.2. So I should probably, good question. Doesn't have to be a multiple of 5. They could be going up, scaled up by the same amount. Most likely, since the perimeter is or a whole number, an integer, it probably will be. In this case it is. Yeah. So if I solve this algebra problem, 5x plus 12x plus 13x is 30x. Divide both sides by 30, x is 3. That means if I plug that in for each of those pieces, the sides of my new triangle would be 15, 36, 39, right? This triangle is proportional to this one. Each of the sides just became a multiple of 3 in this case. And if I add these up, the perimeter is 90. Okay. So if I add those up, the perimeter is 90. We call this number the scale factor. We're going to come to that in just a second. So we see how we did that there? And I want to know what's the shortest side. The shortest side then is 15.